It's time. What's going on, beautiful people? I am the Grandmaster, and I also go by D.Rey, bringing you guys week number 3? 4. Week 4. No, week 3. Week 3. I got this. Week 3 of the BBR Season 4. If you're excited for this team building video, do me the massive favor and rage fist that thumbs up button. And if you're new, por favor, hit the subscribe button. Turn on post notifications, hit the bell button so you get notified every single time we post a new video. The small amount of time it takes for you to hit that like and sub button really does help me out a lot. So please do me that massive favor. Take the half second, hit the big red button, subscribe, join the journey. Today we're going to talk about the team that we're going to be bringing against Mr. Gravy, coach of the Vancouver Titans, my boy, Mr. Jack. Very excited for it. Every time we play Jack, it is a slobber knocker. It is a blockbuster. So make sure you get your snacks. It's about to be good. Today we're going to talk about what we're going to bring, why we're going to bring it, kind of discuss a little bit of my thought process, me and my front office going into the game. And without further ado, pull up a chair, get your popcorn ready, and hit the lights. Alright team, welcome back. Make sure you have those snacks, get yourself nice and cozy, find a corner, put in the background if you'd like. We got a nice relaxed chilled vibe. Let's talk about the team, what we're going to bring, why we're going to bring it. The matchup should be popping up on screen now. So Mr. Jack Gravy, he's got the team consistent of Iron TREADS, Iron Bundle, so he's out here with those Violet Paradox Pokemon. He's got Old School Hydreigon, Glomora, that's a Fuecoco, Daddy Fuecoco. What is this? Skeledirge, Gallade, which is, I think, crazy this gen. Do have to watch out for that Pokemon. This is the Kilowattrel, I believe. Abomasnow, Paldean Tauros, which he actually has access to all three. So he can do the pure fighting Paldean Tauros, the water fighting, or the fire fighting. All three are bundled in one Pokemon, so he does get access to all three. He has Florges, and he has new to the team. He's got the fucking Splatoon monkey. The Splatoon monkey. What's the Splatoon monkey's fucking Pokemon called? It's a poison type, I know that much. He is, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Everything that I do most of the time here doesn't have any kind of notes, guys, so bear with me and forgive me if I disrespect your favorite Pokemon at all. What is this? Grafaiai. This Pokemon. He's got Grafaiai. He actually picked this Pokemon up in a trade with the coach during the break, which I do want to say happy holidays to all our peeps. I've already said that in the time of recording, we're barely fresh back, but the week 2 battle has already done. But I would like to say happy holidays to you and your family. We're on a break, and he traded Grafaiai for, I think he traded it was a poison type. Can't remember what it was, but it doesn't matter. Grafaiai is on his team. So a couple different things to note about his team. He does have a rapid spin in the form of the Iron TREADS, and he's got Mortal Spin on the Glomora, which does remove hazards. I believe that Florges did retain Defog. Let's go ahead and look that up real quick. I believe it did. We do have hazards on our team. He doesn't have Defog, which is fantastic. So it looks like those are his only 2 forms of removal, unless Kilowattrel does have access to Defog. Let's check that real quick. He doesn't. So the only forms of removal he has is Iron TREADS and Glomora. Hydreigon did lose access to it, which is fantastic. He's got Stealth Rock in the Iron TREADS. I think Hydreigon also got Spikes for no reason. Let's see. Hydreigon, I believe, got Stealth Rock and Spikes. It did not get Spikes. Did it get Toxic Spikes? I thought it was, or was that Garchomp? Or did it get Stealth Rock? I got Stealth Rock. There you go. Hydreigon got access to Stealth Rock for no reason. That was the confusion that I had. And he has Stealth Rock, Toxic Spikes, and the Toxic Debris ability with Glomora and Spikes as well. So we do have to watch out for those. He does not have a Cleric, I believe. I believe that Florges lost access to Aromatherapy, but it feels like as if though that's the one Pokemon that would have kept it, if that was the case. It did lose Aromatherapy, and it also did lose Heal Bell. So he doesn't have a Cleric on his team, looking at it right now. So that's something to note. But the Pokemon I would assume he brings this matchup is Iron TREADS, Iron Bundle, Hydreigon, Glomora, And I would probably assume him to bring the Paldean Tauros as well as the Florges. Those are the Pokemon I think he brings. So, with looking at our mascot here, the team that we decided to go ahead and bring, the first one is going to be, as you know, Team Captain Palafin, and Palafin is the Terra type Water. This is our Terra Captain. This matchup, we're bringing the Amulet coin. Clear Amulet, I should say. And the reason we're bringing this is because there's only line of defense against Palafin, really, is Iron Bundle and the Paldean Tauros and the Obama Snow. But Obama Snow and Hydreigon, both being their water resist, get bought by Drain Punch. So he does have to keep in mind for that. So I do think that Paldean Tauros is going to be his main switch into Palafin. And Paldean Tauros did retain Intimidate. So we're bringing the Clear Amulet to ensure that we prevent any attack drops so we can still hit as hard as humanly possible. And then our move set for this matchup is going to be our priority Jet Punch. We're running Ice. We're running Liquidation. We're going to run Zen Headbutt and Close Combat. So with this moveset, we basically cover his entire team, which is fantastic. We have 12 left over in HP, 252 in attack. We have a minus special attack nature, and then we're running 244 in speed with the Jolly nature. And this speed tier is going to allow us to outspeed the Hydreigon by 1 point, which is fantastic. This is at level 50, so Hydreigon, I want to double check something real quick. It should outspeed Hydreigon. So if we have Hydreigon at max speed, which you do intend for it to come. Just a side note too, he did have Hydreigon Poison as his Terra type, but he did change it over to Gallade into Skeledirge. So that is something that we can keep in mind. Let's just say he's the Timid Nature, right? So Timid Nature max speed is 165. And our boy here hits 166. So we have enough speed to outspeed a max speed Hydreigon by 1 point, which is fantastic. Jet Punch really covers his entire team. And then the resist that we have is able to hit Close Combat, hits the the Abomasnow and the Hydreigon for super effective, very hard damage. Zen Headbutt there specifically is for the Paldean Tauros, which is going to be fighting a water type, so it gets super effective damage against that Pokemon. And then Liquidations for stronger stab that basically outspeeds. So we were able to outspeed everything from Hydreigon and below, essentially, with this Pokemon. So that's really, really nice for us. Very self-explanatory set. That's our Palafin. Next Pokemon that we're going to be bringing is actually making his debut this for the first time this season. Probably should have came last week against OGalbina, but you know, is what it is. Hindsight's 2020. Our Baxcalibur is going to be running heavy duty boots because of the ice typing. Even though we did bring removal, it's better to just not have to worry about that, which is really nice. We're going to be bringing very good, very cool set. We have Glaive Rush, we have Ice Shard, we're running Earthquake and Swords Dance. So here's our setup sweeper. If we can get the opportunity to set up and break, that would be fantastic. We're running 148 in HP, 108 in attack, and we're running a negative special attack in nature. So we're running the Jolly nature, and then 244 in speed. So this is again gonna hit that echelon speed tier, I believe, of I think a modest Hydreigon, or actually it doesn't hit Hydreigon, it hits the Glomora max speed. Outspeeds timid max speed Glomora because that Pokemon does hit really hard. I think it's got like a base 133 special attack, so it is something to worry about, and it does pack Power Gem as stab to get super effective damage on Baxcalibur, so we want to be able to outspeed it and hit it with an Earthquake, which is 4 times super effective against Glomora. It'll just drop if it isn't Focus Sash or if we broke the Sash, which is really nice. Glaive Rush is a fantastic exclusive move for Baxcalibur. 120 base attack, power, and stab dragon move. It's kind of unfortunate that it does do double damage on the following move, but it's aside from that, it's pretty much no drawback, which is really nice. Very powerful dragon type move. Ice Shard is fantastic if once we get a +2 attack boost. Ice Shard basically covers his fast Pokemon aside from Iron Bundle. It does neutral damage onto the Iron Treads, super effective damage onto the Hydreigon, the Kilowattrel, and Grafaiai is very, 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 very frail. So don't really have to worry about that Pokemon. And we also, I believe, outspeed, or we should outspeed Gallade with this speed stat. So Jolly max speed, Gallade hits 145. And our Baxcalibur hits 151, which is fantastic. What's up, buddy? Kids are behind the green screen. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's Baxcalibur for this matchup. The next Pokemon we're bringing is going to be Dundee, which is Crocodile, making his debut as well. Crocodile at level 50. Crocodile is going to be running Leftovers. A very kind of not a super bulky set, but we got Earthquake, we got Close Combat. Close Combat is there to be able to hit the Abomasnow, which does resist Earthquake, but Close Combat hits it for super effective damage. If we happen to be in on that Pokemon, one-on-one, we do outspeed though. That's with our EVs, you'll see in a second. And then Close Combat hits the Hydreigon on the switch in, if he wants to switch into an Earthquake, which is really nice. We're running Taunt. We're most likely going to be leading this against Glomora to keep her from setting up hazards, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, we are going to get up some toxic debris, but you know, hindsight's 2020. If we can get the Stealth Rock up, that would be actually really nice. But we're running Stealth Rock on our Crocodile, and we're also running Spikes on another Pokemon. We got 244 in HP, 16 attack, 4 in defense, minus special attack, 20 in speed def, and then 172 in speed. So we're running the Jolly Nature. So very cool set. I want to be able to outspeed the Glomora, which we did establish we do outspeed with the set. Let's just double check here. Glomora. Max speed Glomora, 252 with the Timid Nature. Should outspeed Glomora, hits 151 speed, and our boy hits 147 speed. So actually we may change that. Let's go ahead and change that. So we refer the Glomora happens to be running Timid max speed. It's 151. Let's change that up. Let's go here. Boom. So now we outspeed the Glomora, which is fantastic. We want to be able to get as much damage on that Pokemon as humanly possible. So we're gonna go basically the rest in HP and 4 in defense. So we'll take care of that team right after. So good thing that we did this team builder so that we can catch that before the battle, which is fantastic. So this does outspeed Glomora, which is really nice, and in turn is going to outspeed, I believe, Gallade if he's, let's see, Gallade. Outspeeding Gallade would be nice if I can spell. All right, so Gallade Jolly Max Speed hits 145, and then our boy hits 151. So that was the speed tier what I had before was for Gallade, but now we outspeed Glomora as well. So we outspeed both Glomora and Gallade max speed, which is fantastic. So we can get them with really good damage with Earthquake, and I like that a lot. So we'll keep that there. Very bulky Crocodile here. 12 in speed def to be able to handle those special attacks a little bit better. Get up rocks, taunt, which is really cool to get up hazards or to prevent hazards. It's going to keep the Florigus from doing any kind of Calm Mind shenanigans. It's going to force him to attack us, which is really nice. It also keeps the Skeledirge from doing its shenanigans with Slack Off and such. So being able to have this Pokemon to get super effective damage on that is really nice. We do have to keep in mind for the close combat defense drops. But I think we'll be okay. Crocodile is going to be one of those pivots and to get up rocks and taunt. So that's the general idea behind our Crocodile here. And the next Pokemon we're bringing up is going to be Sylveon showing up this matchup. We're running Leftovers, a very bulky Sylveon set. This is going to be one to just be able to pivot in on this Pokemon, which is fantastic. So we're running Wish, we're running Protect, we're running Baton Pass. So this is essentially here to do, you know, what Sylveon does, which would be specially defensive. We're running max special defense with enough to be odd in the HP stat for hazards, and then the rest is going to be in special attack to be able to get as much damage as we can with our Hyper Voice, which is really cool. So Sylveon, very self-explanatory set. Like I said, it's just going to be here to pivot in on Hydreigon, and also it's going to be able to come in on Skeledirge, take a hit, and then Baton Pass out because it does resist our Hyper Voice. I don't want to switch it on a Glomora, obviously, because it is a poison type, but we can also switch in on the Kilowattrel if the Abomasnow is special, switch it on that. We can also switch in on the, for relative ease, unless he specs, Iron Bundle hits like a truck. But what's really nice about Iron Bundle for our sense is that the only water stab that he has is Hydro Pump, and if we can force him to click Hydro Pump over an ice type move, that's really nice. Sylveon doesn't do that, but that's a note that was in my head before we move on to the next one. But that's Sylveon. It's here to just be a pivot, mostly handle Hydreigon. Now that it's not a poison type anymore, it doesn't really do much to us outside of Flash Cannon being a max speed def wall. It's able to chew those hits really nicely and then just bop them back with Hyper Voice. So very cool. Next Pokemon is our second half of our wall core is Fortress, the shiny one, I will note. We're running Leftovers on this as well. We're running the Sturdy ability, We're going body press, which is a cool addition to Fortress this generation. I do like that a lot. I think that's fantastic. Not wish, my goodness. We have volt switch, and this is our way to pivot. We have rapid spin to get rid of hazards, and then we also have spikes to get up our own, which is really cool. And we're just gonna go Fizz Def, right? And then I believe that's an odd number here. At level 50, I believe that there's an odd. Let's go here, and then there. Perfect. And then the rest is in Spid Def. Cool. So this is here to basically pivot in on his physical attackers. Essentially the iron treads, which basically can come in, be resistant to any hit or take neutral damage and be super physically defensive, and bop them back with the body press. It's able to switch on the Gallade semi with ease. The only weakness that we have is to fire, which is fantastic. We do take neutral damage from close combat, and we resist the Zen headbutts or the psycho cuts, whatever he wants to do. He also got access to Sacred Sword plus I think it's called Sharpness, so that's something we do have to keep in mind. Switches it on the Tauros if you want to do that option in the game, and also to Grafai, which is a physical offensive attacker. But that's Fortress. Physical defensive wall, take a hit, come in, set up spikes, full switch out, rapid spin, all the jazz. Last Pokemon we're going to be bringing is Solarona, aka Iron Moth, which is not Iron Bundle, that's who we're playing. Iron Moth. Iron Moth is showing up with heavy duty boots because we don't take that 25% from hazards. We have Court Drive as armor, but now the set that we have here is Fiery Dance. We're going to be running Discharge, and we're running Dazzling Gleam along with Morning Sun. Morning Sun may be a little bit weird because he does have access to Snow, which only allows 1/4 health recovery, but being able to get recovery is in general is really nice. I don't really anticipate him to bring Obama Snow, but if he does, interesting him to stay in on Iron Moth because it literally just dies to Iron Moth. It's not a Terra Captain form, so he will just drop to Fiery Dance. So I'm not too worried about that front. We're basically here to just pivot in and do damage. So we have a 28 in HP, which is the leftover because we're going to be doing as much damage as humanly possible. 252 in attack. And then we have a minus attack nature, and then we're running 228 in speed with the timid, and this is to outspeed Iron Treads. We're just gonna forget Grafai's there. It's not really gonna do much damage to us whatsoever, so I'd rather just plan on Iron Treads and just bop it with the Fiery Dance. Discharge is there to be able to hit the Iron Bundle, as well as the Kilowattrel for super effective damage, and the Paldean Tauros, which we do expect to be water. And if he's fire, we can just hit him with the Discharge. Dazzling Gleam is there for neutral damage on Iron Bundle and super effective 4 times damage on Hydreigon, which does resist otherwise the Discharge and the Fiery Dance. So perfect coverage for the most part. With Iron Moth is going to be coming in a lot early game just to really break his team. We're going to use Iron Moth in the very beginning to just really do damage, and then we pivot in with Fortress and Sylveon, and then go from there. So essentially the game plan is this: we lead off with Palafin to ensure that we can get the hero form off, and then we'll switch into either Sylveon or Fortress depending on what he decides to lead off with, and from then on we will pivot out into Iron Moth and just proceed to do as much damage as humanly possible. If we can get to the best scenario for us is if we pivot from Palafin into Fortress instead of Sylveon. That'd be best case scenario, because then we can get up a layer of spikes, and then on the Volt Switch we're able to bring in Iron Moth. If he wants to block the Volt Switch on Fortress, then we can just body press the Iron Treads and get super effective crazy damage on that Pokemon, which would be the best case scenario for us. And then Valentina can just proceed, or Iron Moth can just proceed to just do the finest amount of work, and we can clean up with either Palafin or Baxcalibur. That's the main game plan. We're playing Jack tomorrow. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. You'll see it tomorrow. We're about to play him momentarily, so I hope you guys are excited for the matchup. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to Jack. The games will be tomorrow. Very excited. I keep saying that because I'm nervous. We're about to play. Wish us luck. With that being said, I'm going to get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your day, and above all else, let's get it. Be nice. Peace.